Linda Doveston, and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly overview for the week commencing the 18th of October 2021. Last week we had this very intense hexagram of 21 biting through the obstacle that's preventing our nourishment. How did that go? Did you attack it with vigor? Did you find the poison that you discovered as you bit through the problem? Well, for me, last week I was tackling a problem, and when I really put my teeth into it, as it were, taking the advice of the I Ching, I discovered the poison, which is the approach to this project was never going to get us there. And so I realized, okay, we need to change the approach. And for me, that was the poison of the week. And it's so valuable to have these little symbols that we can work with as we approach our week. Sometimes it's a small thing for us, sometimes it's a big one. So how was your week? Please share that in a comment. It'd be really great to learn from you. Right, so this week, the 18th of October 2021, the week is all about pressure. Okay, this hexagram 28, great pressure, has a whole lot of male active lines in the middle, sandwiched between two gentle little passive lines on the top and the tail. And so these two lines are struggling to contain this very strong force that is moving through us. It refers to exceptional times, unusual circumstances, a stress, a crisis, where there's pressure bearing down upon the structures in our life that might collapse. You will see that from this hexagram shape, what we are needing to do is we're needing to shore up this creative power that's pumping through and this creative beginning that is emerging, that's at the heart of the stress. So we get stressed when we can't handle the pressure we are under, and also when we are pushing ourselves outside our boundaries, where we are trying new things, when we are taking on a lot of things. And of course, pressure and stress are things that we all experience. Yet do we have the mechanisms to recognize stress and pressure and to find positive, productive ways of relieving that stress? Of course, one of the best ways of relieving stress is putting things down that don't belong with us, because we tend to take things on that are not ours, number one, and number two, putting things down that are not necessarily critical for now. We all have things on our list that we think are important, but actually in the grand scheme of things, when there's pressure and when our ridgepole, the structure in our life, is under pressure and is threatening to buckle, we need to prioritize. And so perhaps this week is an opportunity to do just that, to look at the things that are creating pressure for you and work out some solutions of just taking pressure off, taking off the pressure that is not critical, and then focusing our attention on shoring up the issues that are critical. And for me, this hexagram really encapsulates a great piece of wisdom, a question we can always ask ourselves when we are feeling very pressured and very stressed is, how do I respond under pressure? What is your go-to default behavior when you are under pressure? Usually people tend to reach out and take it out on the people in their family, their spouse, their kids, the people that are in their vicinity where you feel safe with. Is that the right way of handling the stress? Perhaps there are addictions. Perhaps you reach out to things that are not in your best interests as a mechanism to deal with stress. How do you respond under pressure? Remember that a diamond is created under huge pressure, where the coal is transformed into the diamond. And the diamond doesn't just get created because coal is compacted. The diamond grows into the pressure. And there really is no better way of talking about pressure and the growth and how we respond to pressure than the growth of a diamond. It grows into the pressure. Okay, a great symbol. Now this week we have two changing lines in the third and the fifth position. The line in the third position, okay, because these lines 3 and 4 are lines of transition, they're a little bit tricky. It is a tricky line. And this line says something in this week, something in our work, something in a project is buckling and getting a speed wobble, and there's nothing that we can do about it. So what we have to do is we have to accept the collapse, Let all the cards fall down from the house of cards and then reevaluate where we go from there. So there's some kind of process, and although this seems like a dramatic thing that the whole house collapses, and just accept it, just let it go, okay? It's beyond repair. Although that seems quite dramatic, it might be a simple issue. It might be a process of just accepting that something is just collapsing and let it collapse so that the new can be brought in. Okay, instead of fighting the collapse, accepting and embracing the unbundling and the results of too much pressure going on to a particular thing. So have your heart and your mind open to what is the particular thing that has had so much pressure that it just got to watch it unravel and just be at peace that once the dust settles, we can put things back together again and work out where to next. Now, the line in the 5th position refers to an image of a withered old tree that suddenly gets a little burst of a flower that pops out on the old tree. So you look at the old tree and the tree's dead, but then before you know it, boop, a little flower emerges out of this tree. It refers to something that seems to be done that has ended its process, that suddenly reanimates back into life, like a dead tree that suddenly gets a flower. It's out of context, doesn't make sense, but just enjoy the flower. So how do we translate that symbol? We think about unusual growth spurts or unusual movements forward, okay? And we think about, see the sudden emergence out of what you thought was over, see it as an opportunity, a blessing, but don't expect it to last. So there's something transitory about this kind of sudden last little burst of activity before it is complete and it moves out. Okay, so just bear that in mind, that whatever kind of blossoms in your mind, you think, oh, that was dead and now it's reanimated. How wonderful. We can now move forward. What I thought was over is actually alive. We can move forward. No, it's not. It's just a little burst of energy that's unexpected, and enjoy it for what it is. Okay. And then our outcome hexagram for this week is hexagram 40, deliverance. And this is a wonderful hexagram of arriving at a place of safety, of being delivered to safety after a time of difficulty and darkness. So I've shared with you before the symbol of a ship being tossed about at sea and then being washed up at sea, and you realize that you shipwrecked, but you've actually made it. You might be a bit bumped and bruised, but you've made it, you survived, and there's help coming to take you from the beach and into a place of rest that you can recuperate. It's recognizing as a flow of change the time to see that a difficult time is over, and that if you've got nowhere to go right away, you've landed up on this beach, take some time out just to rejuvenate, find your bearings, work out where it is you want to go next, and then move. If you've got somewhere to go and you've got a plan and you've got a very clear purpose you're working towards, at your own time, pick up, get your stuff, and get on with the job at hand. Okay, so it's recognizing that deliverance is here. Take time out, okay, recalibrate, because we've got through this big challenge, or we've got through this big project. Think about in your teams, having gone through a big challenge that you've all overcome as a team. Take time out to celebrate and work out what it all means, and then move on and keep on doing the next great thing. So this week is deemed to be full of activity and pressure. Perhaps we're all having big deadlines this week that make us work long hours, burn the midnight oil, and just find ways of supporting that pressure with things that relieve pressure. Put down the things that are not as critical now. Thank you so much. Wishing you a week where the pressure and the stress does not get to you, where you recognize how you handle stress and you find positive ways of growing into the pressure like the beautiful diamond you are. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you on the socials. And if you're on TikTok, I had my arm twisted to get onto there. So for the last while, I've been posting 1-minute summary videos of the weeklies and the monthlies on TikTok. So if you're into that, go and check it out. I Ching Cafe is the handle. Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you soon.